What have they done to my Temple of Elemental Evil? I am trying, and I have a series of videos on YouTube where I solo the Temple of Elemental Evil as a self-imposed challenge for builds at cap. But those days are behind us. In this most recent patch, that is 56, they have completely changed Temple of Elemental Evil. So we're going to take a look at it and see how they've massacred my boy. So just to start off, we'll see what they have to say about it, and then we'll take a look for ourselves. So here we are in the notes. Of special note, the Temple of Elemental Evil has been updated. The Temple of Elemental Evil has received an update, including new rewards. This classic adventure now supports Legendary difficulty, CR 34, and has been divided into multiple quests, among other changes detailed more in the release notes below. To get started, visit the Gatekeeper's Grove in the harbor and speak with Bagnam the Gatekeeper on the east side of the grove. Anyone who owns the Temple of Elemental Evil Adventure Pack can access this newly updated classic. Free to VIPs and available in the DDO store, features Dungeon Master narration, and audio journal discussion by actor Will Wheaton. Okay, so far they have split it into multiple quests, and they have changed the difficulty to 34. The first thing that we're going to look at once we're in game is, did they replace Epic with Legendary, or do we get an option of all three? Because that will be a large difference. So we're going to skip past all the archetype stuff and go straight to the section on the Temple of Elemental Evil. Here we go. So, the Temple of Elemental Evil, Part 1, has been turned into two separate quests, with the first containing the Upper Temple and the Earth Temple, and the second containing the Lower Temple. Okay? That's a pretty standard way to split it. I'm assuming the last boss will be the guy who has the Earth Key, if they haven't changed too much. So that's one thing we'll have to check, if it's still the whole thing, if you can still explore a bunch, and we'll get to that here in a minute. The Temple of Elemental Evil Part 2 has been turned into 5 separate quests, with each elemental node becoming its own quest, and the 5th quest leading into and including the fight against Zagathmoy. So, before, if you weren't aware, you only had to do one of the 4 nodes. So the fact that they split those into individual quests kind of makes sense. I'm kind of wondering what happened to the lead-in with the pyramid section. Like, do you do that for each node? But we will see that in a minute. Right? Additionally, several quests have had objectives added to make their gameplay flow more clearly. Alright, we'll take a look at that too. The Zagathmoy and Falrinth encounters have had their difficulty adjusted. Now, this was one of my main concerns, is that lots of people complained that Zagathmoy was too hard. I liked Zagathmoy being that hard, because pretty much any quest in the game, and they've done better with this in recent years with some of the Isle of Dreads, they have basically tank and spank boss fights. I liked having a boss fight outside of a raid that had actual mechanics to it. So we'll see what they have done on the difficulty adjustment. The rewards have been adjusted. They haven't changed any existing ones. They've added new drops, new sets, and a variety of other things in there. So that is all they have for their patch notes. So it is time for us to just go take a look for ourselves. So it looks like the old difficulty is indeed completely gone. And they changed the base level. This used to be base level 7, now it is base level 8 for Heroic. So that is another consideration, especially if you're on hardcore doing favor. But there's now Legendary, it is now base 34. You can no longer do the Epic version, which was base 28, I believe. The runes can be found in 2 places. To the east, the rune is protected by winged creatures. To the north, the rune is protected by a great contraption. Control assault of the great contraption is very dangerous. There's a secret door in the west that may help. Okay, so it gives you hints about, like, the ballista. Okay, so they have kept the, at least a bit of the pack size, which was iconic. And they have collapsed the way forward. So they have actually altered the map.
This is really fun for me because I get to be a dungeon master for basically anyone in the world who wants to play this game. And that's really, really fun.
Alright, we still have mysterious altars. We no longer have pack ingredients, so these chests look like they're just normal chests that give random crap now. Okay, well, we got one of the new wands. So, among other things, these wands accept sentience, which is new. But besides that, they're, I mean, they have fire augmentation on them, which is nice. Now, this would be the great device they were talking about, which is, I'm guessing, they're talking about this ballista.
On the wall above this rune is
Okay.
a small etching in the shape of a key.
Okay, so they've changed it so there's a rune here, so you need to actually do that. So that gives it a little bit more a little bit more of a you know, actual quest objectives than the old, like, just go through and kill as much as you can. So I do appreciate that aspect of it. So we're going to head all the way to the east.
Above this rune is a small etching in the shape of a key.
I love being pacified completely. Right, and there's rune number 2. And we could just backtrack, but instead we're going to explore what the path is if we came over here to the right first. Well, Joel.
Something seems strange about this rune.
Do I not have True Seeing on? I do have True Seeing on. But it looks like they have updated the DCs. So before, even on Epic, you could see those doors as long as you had True Seeing. Like, they were very low DCs. So that is a change. It's not a change I expect too many people will notice, but it does make it a little annoying, and it means that if you can't search for that door, you will want to head over here and get the eastern one first. Alright, so now that we've gone past these doors, we have another set of shrines, and now we can go to the Earth Temple. And there should be one more, who, as before, they have not fixed, is stuck.
Drops his magical wards to attack.
And we're just gonna hit him with all the things. Okay. Alright, so that doesn't end the quest. We still need to go do another thing. Nothing particularly of note there. But we do, as before, need to find our way down to the lower part of the temple. So, we're going to do that.
The Earth Temple key begins to quiver.
Now the question is, did they fix the display issue? Will we actually see the glowing green barrier now? Hey, there it is. Does it disappear when we get closer?
This magical barrier
It does not.
is a barrier dissipates, opening the stairway.
Okay. So that is the first half of what used to be part 1. So it is now part 1, part 1. Part 1 of part 1. So, some overall thoughts, just to wrap things up. Overall, I think it survived pretty well. They haven't massacred my boy yet, but it is easier than expected. This run was on R1, but we have done it on R5 as well, and it's easier than Dread. It's easier than it was when it was 4 levels lower. The packs are smaller, the trash doesn't hit as hard. Some of the bosses got buffed. You will have seen from the HP on screen that they have more health now. But besides that, I like that they added a little bit more to the quest with having the runes you have to go touch, so you don't just run straight to the Earth Temple at the end. And we'll see what the rest of the rework has to hold. So those videos will be coming out relatively soon. So if you want to see the rest, I hope you'll check those out. Or just come watch on Twitch. I am Tryang on Twitch. And thank you for watching.